economy, especially if we're thinking about specific resources, fossil fuels especially, right? On my way to the studio, I stopped to get gasoline. I paid $2 a gallon, less than $2 a gallon, which is the lowest I've seen it in as long as I've been driving, right? I remember about 10 years ago, maybe even 15 years ago, when it was $4 a gallon. So $2 a gallon now is insanely cheap. Iraq, Saudi Arabia, many of the Gulf countries, a good portion of their economy relies on the trade of fossil fuels. And if we're looking at a country like the United Arab Emirates, the other thing that they're relying on is tourism, the movement of people, the sustenance of corporate headquarters or regional headquarters based out of some of these large cities. How has the economy been affected by the decline in price of oil, especially in the Kurdistan region?
And the entire world has been affected economically. Even in the USA, when you are telling me it's so cheap, the gallon $2, but where are you gonna get these $2? As you know, in the society, especially in the Western countries, in the USA, we were living there and still we are living there. And if you are not getting your paycheck every other week, you know, you cannot pay your expenses, you cannot live. So for this, even if it's so cheap, cheaper than this, but still we are facing a very difficult time. And also in the Kurdistan region, in Iraq as well, because we, especially in Iraq, relying on the oil revenue. Unfortunately, looking to the budget of Iraq, you know, the yearly budget, it's I think they estimated that the price of the oil was maybe around, I think, $60–65. Now, I think it came down to the $26 or $29 per barrel. So, for sure affected the economy, but hopefully we will be able to recover also. This is why I said we need real leaders to handle the situation, to think about the humanity, you know, in general, not just to think about how they're going to get cheap oil. So what you going to do with cheap oil? But at the time, all transportation, all factories, all businesses are shut down. You know, even the hospitals, they are unable to cover or to take care of patients anymore because, you know, there is no space for them. So I think we are facing a very, very difficult time. So hopefully we will be able to make balance with this and also to recover from the health side and also economically.
You've been the Minister of Education. You have a doctorate in education. You're well known throughout the region. I'm teaching my first semester as a professor in political science. And out of nowhere, this virus hits us. I'm told during the middle of this process that I have to move my teaching from in-person, which I thoroughly enjoy. I feel like I can build relationships with students. And I'm told to bring that teaching online. I'm trying all new kinds of tools and techniques, including social media and Zoom calls and upkeeping with all these different methods. Now, do you see any evolution in how education is moving? Do you think that education is going to attain a next step? What direction are we going in?
Yeah, in general, all around the world, I was feeling that the education, you know, field was not doing well. But anyway, especially in our countries, the level of education was so low. Unfortunately, I wasn't minister. I was chairman of education committee at the Iraq Parliament, and we tried our best to help the ministry, but unfortunately, because the wartime, especially war against ISIS, and we were not able, especially the Ministry of Education, were not able to cover all needed situations, to building the schools, and reforming the programs, the curriculum, and all other issues related. Certainly, this pandemic affected the education, especially in the Eastern countries, because we were not using. We don't have a systematic countries. We don't have electronic government, So, but still, in Kurdistan region, I see that. I was just meeting today with the deputy chair of the University of Serwan. He said, we are working. We already prepared uh, some programs to teach online. Some schools also, the private schools, especially in Kurdistan region, that now even my kids, they are taking their classes daily online. So it's better than just sitting at home without getting education, but it will be not easy, this change, and also we have to have a stronger cables and nets, we don't have the same cables that we have it in the USA, for example. But still, we are trying to do our best with this to recover and at least to teach our kids, But it's not easy. It's not easy, but we are trying to do it. Even in Iraq, I think we are waiting for this month to be over. We are expecting to recover from this. And also, in general, they are changing from the hard copy books, printing books or every year for millions of dollars, to change it to go to the teach online and to rely on the website and special programs for the education.
Now, Dr. Serwan, you mentioned before about the rise of the Islamic State, ongoing contention between the Peshmerga forces, the forces of the Kurdish regional government, and perhaps Irani-backed forces in the region. Now, with the rise of the coronavirus, is there a concern about the health and safety of these frontline soldiers?
Yeah, unfortunately, like 3 days ago, the ISIS attacked some Peshmerga bases, and there is a daily activities by the ISIS on many cities, many areas in the front line, and some our Peshmergas, young Peshmergas, get murdered by ISIS. So they are taking advantage of the time when they see that our Peshmergas and securities and government are busy with the corona situation. So they are taking advantage to attack our people, to attack civilians, to attack Peshmergas and other areas, even the Iraqi army area. So for this, we need to stand with the Iraqi government, Peshmergas, and Iraqi soldiers. Plus, also, we really need international support for the international coalition to stay to support in order to be able to fight ISIS. And because I think they are starting again, their activities are increasing against the Iraqis and the Kurdistan region in general.
Now, when I was in Iraq and the Kurdistan region, I had the pleasure of meeting some of these individuals and also a lot of the citizenry of the Kurdistan region. I was surprised at the level of contempt against the Islamic State, the general agreement from the public, independent of the political party, independent of their religious background, the overwhelming fever, the overwhelming pushback against the Islamic State. Now, has any of that momentum ceased, or is the fervor, is the fight of the Kurdish people in the north still strong against the Islamic State?
Certainly, the Kurdistan region, the Peshmerga, are ready all the time, and as you know, during the time the ISIS was the most strongest time for them, and we were able to give them a lesson to put them down and to defeat them, and also now for sure we are ready for them, but still we cannot do it alone, because this is the international war. We are fighting on behalf of the international humanity. So for this, we need support. We cannot continue forever to fight ISIS. So for this, I think we have to have support by the central government and also by the international committee in order to be able to seize or also to control and also to destroy ISIS forever.
Now, we've also seen a rise of Shabi, of the popular mobilization units, specifically Kataib Hezbollah. Is there also a concern about those militias? Is that something on the same level of the Islamic State, or is that more secondary?
I think the Hashd, because they formed the Hashd by the law from the Iraqi parliament. So it's so easy after the forming the new cabinet, they can join. I think they already joined the Iraqi army. There will be no much problem. And I think hopefully the new prime minister will act wisely in order to bring in all Iraqis together and to avoid the political fights, to avoid the civil fights, to avoid, to get rid of all militias, just bring in all powers, all armies, under the defense ministry in order to be able to stand strong against the ISIS and all other terrorist organizations, and not to let any interference by the regional countries on the Iraqi sovereignty.
Inshallah. Serwan,
Thank you.
Secretary General of the House of Representatives of Iraq, thank you so much for being with us. I appreciate your time. And
Thank you.
I wish you good health.
Thank you. You too. I wish the health for all humanity, especially our friends, families in the USA, and also all around the world. And hopefully we will be able to get rid of this pandemic, the COVID-19, as soon as possible. Also to have better leadership for the entire world, for all countries around the world, to have more justice, more equality for humanity and all other nations around the world.